There's a ton of movement in the scene, ton of like slow realizations. She's such an amazing person off screen. The intention behind any of these arguments is I want to be closer to you. So many characters in this story who are like, I know that person. I think people will be surprised by this movie.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Heart in Motion podcast. I'm so excited to welcome Evan Roderick to the podcast. Hi, Evan. How are you doing?
Stephanie, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, we tried to coordinate early on because I'm a huge fan of Providence Falls and I know like schedules happen, things happen. So thank you so much for being flexible and coming back. I know you've got a Christmas movie coming out very soon. So I'm excited to talk to you about that. And hopefully we'll have time to go back in time, pardon the pun a little bit, and talk about Providence Falls as well.
Great, great.
So you've got a movie coming out on Hallmark on December 20th, 8/7 Central, and that is called A Make or Break Holiday, and you star opposite Hunter King. So can you tell us just a little bit about that movie?
Absolutely, yes. So I'm glad that you have the date right, by the way, because I did not remember that. December 20th, 7 Central. Cool. We have Liv, played by Hunter King, and Daniel, played by myself. And we start the movie in this beautiful relationship. And pretty much shortly thereafter, we discover that we have more differences than we originally thought. And we break up. And the only issue with that is that we've already agreed to have both of our families at our house for Christmas. So the whole movie is basically us faking our relationship for our families. And I'm sure you can imagine that's a pretty interesting premise. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So when you got the opportunity to do this project, what was that first thing, whether it was the script or the writing, or what was that first thing that got you most excited about doing this project?
So yeah, the things that drew me to this project were a really fun script, a ton of comedy, which I haven't done a ton of comedy, so that was a big pull. Hunter King, obviously, she's been taking this industry by storm, and Martin Wood, who's a very seasoned director, and I think the combination of those three things, it was just kind of a no-brainer for me.
I did not know that Martin Wood directed this one. I've had him on the podcast. He's fantastic.
Oh, have you? Oh, no way. Yeah,
Yeah, or When Calls the Heart. So,
right, right.
yeah,
Great. I love Martin.
yeah, that's
Uh,
so cool to hear that.
yep.
So, holiday movies, they lean heavily on chemistry. What helped you and Hunter find that rhythm to have that chemistry, but yet you still have to act like you guys are going through this like rough patch or breaking up?
Right. Well, I mean, I'm this is just going to be a big podcast of me tooting Hunter up because she's so talented and such a lovely person. And acting's a funny thing where the more open you are, the more people are able to have a natural chemistry with you. And she's such an amazing person off screen that there's a natural likability, I think, for Hunter for anyone. And when you get to act with her, it's like this open vessel and she's very engaging and it's almost easy to have chemistry with someone like Hunter because she's just so talented. So I'd say it kind of just stems off screen and then hopefully some of that is captured in this film because she was a blast to work with.
So, I'm guessing that all ends well in the Hallmark world in this movie. So, and I know you can't say too much, but would you say that this is one of those things where there's like a pivotal moment where it clicks for both of them that maybe we made the wrong decision breaking up, or are we going to see these little nuggets of just progressing back to each other throughout the movie?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a hard one to answer without giving too much of the plot away, but there's like a natural arc to the story where there's seeds throughout where they're trying to build back up the relationship. Having said that, I think the love is kind of always there. And yeah, that's kind of a hard question for me to answer, but there's seeds that build back to something. What that something is, I can't say.
That's awesome. So, what do you think that we're going to enjoy most about watching Liv and Daniel work through this story?
Great question. And I think they're just such a real couple, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and I think that goes for every relationship in this story. There's just such like, the thing about like communication, how easily you can have these communication breakdowns in a
Oh yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
And you hang on to words in an argument, you
Yeah.
know? And I think people will connect to that because the intention behind any of these arguments is I want to be closer to you, you know? But we can't help but have these communication breakdowns and misunderstandings, and it leads to exactly the polar opposite of where we actually want to be
Yeah.
in the relationship. So to answer your question, I just think audiences will hopefully connect to how real these people are.
Holiday romances often tuck these deeper meanings, themes, and stories. I know you've talked, I mean, there's got to be comedy if Hunter's involved, and
For
you've
sure.
talked about coming back to that. So, what other kind of themes might we feel or see in this movie other than some of those comedy beats where they're coming back together?
Well, as I mentioned, communication is a huge one. It's a huge theme of this movie because communication is such a pivotal, plays such a pivotal role in relationships.
Yeah.
And I would say one of the other big themes is obviously would be forgiveness and acceptance of one's flaws and the differences that you have in any relationship. So I'd say those three: communication, acceptance, and forgiveness.
All very relatable to us. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Did this movie, because I know you've had so many projects, did this one give you an opportunity to explore anything new in the acting world?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I mentioned to you earlier, like I haven't done a ton of comedy,
Hmm.
not a ton. And this one, when I read the script, I'm thinking like, whoa, this is pretty comedy heavy,
Yeah.
with some really good comedic actors in it. And my character doesn't necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily say he pushes the comedy, but he's definitely involved in the train of comedic beats. So I'd say that was kind of something brand new for me and a challenge for me.
Can you remember a fun day on set, something that really stands out behind the scenes?
Yeah. There was there's this scene, and I hope this isn't giving too much away, but there's this scene where we play. Have you ever played Candy Pass?
No.
Me neither. And this is the first time.
Dare.
Yeah, it's a crazy game. Anyway, so there's this scene where we're playing Candy Pass, and the difficulty with it in a movie is that you're there's so much action, like you're literally
Oh,
passing
yeah.
candy, but the dialogue in a comedy has to move so quick. So we had to rehearse this. We were in the green room for, I want to say, like an hour rehearsing how to do all this action beat with the words. And it was a big challenge because it has to be quick in order to be funny.
Yeah.
But I like to think that we got it. And I think audiences are really going to enjoy that scene.
Well, I would imagine the camera work and all of that were probably pretty technical as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we'll be checking it out then.
Yeah.
So if someone's deciding to tune in on December 20th to see the movie, what's your pitch for why this one belongs in their holiday lineup?
It's kind of like what I touched on earlier, but I think every single relationship in this movie is super relatable. And I know you could say that for a lot of movies, which is true, but there's when I was doing this movie, there's the woman who played my mom, Jennifer, like Marley, there's so many characters in this story who are like, I know that person. I see that person's flaws in the way that I see my own, and I know how to relate to that
Yeah,
person. So I like to think that there's a character in this story for everyone that at least somebody's going to be like, I know that person.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite scene that you're excited for everybody to see?
Favorite scene? Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. There's a scene at the beginning of this movie. And I'm not sure if you're familiar, you must be at this point, but a 10-page two-hander scene is like quite a bit for a feature film.
Yes,
Film.
I have learned that. Yes.
Yeah, yes, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Usually you do like a big day would be a 10-page day,
Yeah.
not as a two-hander.
Okay.
So there's a scene at the beginning of this movie between Hunter's character and my character where it's a 10-page continuous scene between us two, and it's the big breakup scene. If that's not giving too much away. And I'm really looking forward for the audience to see that because that was like a big challenge to shoot. There's a ton of movement in the scene, ton of like slow realizations, and Yeah, it was a lot of fun for us to shoot.
So I have to go back to Martin Wood because Martin Wood loves mirrors. Are there
Mirror.
mirrors? Yeah, he loves shooting into mirrors.
Really?
Maybe there are no mirrors in this one.
Let me think. Did he use any mirrors? I don't think he did. That's funny. Is that a big thing that he does on When
He
Calls the Heart?
loves shooting into mirrors. Yeah. And then actually, when he said that, I went back and looked through several of his projects. And I mean, he's got all sorts of tricks, but that's one that I've seen him use quite often. So just a random little bit of trivia there. So,
That's really interesting. I'm gonna have to text him after this and be like, "What's your deal with
what's
mirrors,
your deal
Martin?"
with mirrors? Okay, so every Christmas movie has this big moment. You know, it may be the big kiss at the end, it may be the breakup or whatever. So, without giving anything away, what kind of moment do you think that we're going to be talking about at the end of this movie?
I think the candy pass was one of those moments.
Okay.
Um, and I think I hope that's not giving too much away. I mean, the whole premise of the movies that we did break up at the beginning of the movie.
It's in the synopsis. It's
It's in
out
the
there.
synopsis.
The
I'm not gonna do
whole
it.
world knows about the breakup.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. I'd say that scene is one that I think audiences will enjoy. But there's also oh, shoot. I hope I'm not. You know what? I may not answer this question just because if I say another scene, I may be giving away the whole movie, and I can't. I'm gonna get fired before this movie even comes out.
We will not let that happen. Give us three words instead to describe the movie. How about that?
Sure. Sure. Comedic, obviously, heartfelt, and I think people will be surprised by this movie.
Oh,
Surprising.
okay.
Yeah, so a
Interesting.
little Easter egg there.
We like some good surprises. I mean, we
Yeah,
like a little bit of predictability, but we like good surprises.
yeah, yeah. There's just enough predictability, and there's a little something, something in there that I think people are going to enjoy.
Okay. Well, I'm so excited when I saw that you were paired up with Hunter King. I was so excited to see the two of you together in this movie, so that'll be fun. You're at Hallmark Christmas Experience week 4, is that right?
Is week 4 December 18th to 21st?
It is,
Then
yes.
that's my weekend. Yeah, yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. You've been, right?
I was at week 3 last year, and
Oh,
I was
wow.
at week 1 this year, and I'm going back this weekend for week 3. Weekend
No
3.
way. You
Yeah.
got to tell me all about it. I mean, I've never been.
Oh, well, here we go. So, uh, have you been to any of these other like fan events?
No, never. This is my
Okay.
first one. I'm
You're
so
going to be
excited.
really busy. I'm just going to prepare you for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're going to be really busy. A lot of
Okay.
panels, some great photo ops with fans.
Okay.
It's so much fun. And everybody's just, everybody's in the Christmas spirit. The plaza down below at Crown Center is dressed up beautifully, big tree, lights everywhere. But the panels are amazing. A lot of just behind the scenes Q&As. There's fun games. It gets, I think what I love about it is we get to see you guys all perform and see like what you produce. And it's an opportunity for all of us just to kind of see you as real people
Right.
and,
Right.
behind the scenes. So,
That's
but yeah,
so
it's a blast.
I'm so excited to go. I mean, I've seen pictures and
Yeah,
videos and stuff, but I'm sure that
yeah,
doesn't come close to what it's
yeah,
like in person.
yeah.
So I can't
So
wait.
you'll have a great
It's really
time.
cool you're going back down this weekend, though. That's really cool.
When you only live 2.5 hours away, so
You gotta go.
I got no excuse.
Very
Got to
cool.
go. Right now, my
Very,
Christmas shopping is, lacking right now, but
yeah, that's all
the
right. You'll
perks of online shopping, right?
catch. Exactly. Hence the knock on the door.
Here we go. So let's switch gears if you want and talk a little bit about Providence Falls, because that was one thing that I definitely wanted to kind of like hear from you on.
Sure.
That was a huge success. I think so many people were surprised that Hallmark decided to put a movie event, is what they called it, into the middle of summer, knowing so many people are on vacation. And it did remarkably well for airing in the summer. So kudos to you, the whole cast. That project was something that was really exciting for us, different than what we've seen Hallmark do. What was that experience like for you?
Well, thank you for saying all that, first off. I appreciate that. That whole experience, it felt to me like the first 5 episodes of shooting a TV show. And I mean, it was from front to back, I think it was like 3.5 months of shooting. Or not shooting, but from beginning to end, which is roughly that in a
Yeah,
TV show.
yeah,
And the fact that we got to go to Ireland, I mean, we shot the first movie and then immediately all of us got on the plane. I remember all of us sitting in the same, minus actually two of the cast, but most of us were in the same section on the airplane. Everyone's like got snacks, throwing stuff. Like it was such an immersive experience with that ensemble. And I'm usually not doing too much in the middle of February, and to be on a plane to Dublin was such a cool experience for me, and I think for the rest of the cast as well. And like you say, a very different project, a very
yeah.
different project. So,
So looking back now that you've done the project, now that you've seen kind of the fan reaction, what were some highlights of doing that project for you?
oh my gosh, I mean, yes, flying to Ireland, we were shooting in this beautiful Luttrellston castle where Beckham and Posh got married. Like that was so cool. Um, and what else? I mean, we went out in Ireland a couple times. That was pretty fun. I just think the whole, it's like wasn't one specific thing,
Yeah,
Stephanie. Like
yeah.
the whole experience just felt so novel for all of us. And
Hmm.
and because there was the length of actually having 3.5 months to spend time together, we didn't have to rush any relationships. It just felt like this beautiful kind of slow burn experience. And yeah, just so immersive. That's pretty much all I can say. Just so many different looks, different parts of town. We were shooting up in this mine in Squamish. Um, so many different visual fields to kind of take in,
Yeah.
even shooting it. So just a
Well,
crazy.
and yeah, and I've talked with both of the directors, Katie and Lachlan, and they said, that similar thing, and it felt very much like a series where you have more of that opportunity to develop your character a little bit more, knowing that everybody just really seemed like full in. Um, and I think that really translated to us that we could tell that you guys were really excited to be a part of this project.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. I mean, like it really was though. It was easy in a sense because if you spend that much time with people, you naturally just build these relationships, and I think we were just so lucky in that sense to have that all together. It's cool that you spoke to Katie and Lachlan though.
Oh yeah.
I think I saw a clip of that. That's nice.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
people.
they were great. They were great to talk to. So, do
Very
you have a favorite scene looking back?
favorite scene. There's a scene where Katie and Lachlan they're doing the sword fighting outside of that, and there's that master shot of the castle. That
Yes.
whole sequence to me, I was just blown away. I thought visually, Justin, our DP, I think it was Lucy that directed that episode, but just such a beautiful shot, and them slowly falling in love, reading to each other poetry. I like that whole sequence. I was like, oh, that's stunning.
You watching that. So that was you watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, did you? I thought you just meant in general a favorite scene.
No, I
Or
like that too.
or did
I
you mean
no, I
my
love
favorite?
that what a scene that you loved was watching them, like something
Yeah,
that
yeah. That was, I think, my favorite. And all the stuff that we shot in Ireland, I love that it's kind of woven throughout the whole
yeah,
story.
yeah.
It's some beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Which I'm sure it took quite a bit of technical planning and everything, knowing like we got to get everything while we're in Ireland before we
Yeah,
come back
yeah,
and do that.
totally. And then we had to fly back and shoot movie 2 and 3, like right out of the gate. So it was a whirlwind. It was crazy.
So another favorite scene for us was watching Finn play pool, that whole pool scene.
Well, thank you.
I had
Okay.
to bring that one. Do you know how to play pool?
No, no, but I did get one lesson.
Okay.
There was, I think it was maybe a week before we shot that scene. I had that scene circled on my calendar because I'm like, oh no, I don't play pool ever, like at all. So they signed me up with this really incredible billiards player. I can't remember what his name is. Shoot, I can't remember what his name is, but incredible, like Olympic level, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
he he trained me for an evening. He's like, okay, like this is maybe what I'd do if they're gonna shoot your hand like this or whatever. And then they used, the professional shots where you see like the ball just go boom, boom, boom.
Oh
That's
yeah.
that's all him, obviously, shooting that. But then when you see my face, and those sequences, you can obviously tell it's me. But thank gosh we had this guy because he was like he brought the whole look of the billiard scene to another level. You need that
Well,
kind of talent.
you pulled it off. And I remember talking with Siobhan, and she was like, all right, this is what you want me to do. This is what you want me to like, how you want me to shoot it. She was like, it was like challenge accepted. Like, we're going to do it. And I mean, I think, and just the way that it was presented, because it was like by the time we get to this scene with Finn, we've kind of created like who we think Finn is and like what he's about. And
True.
then it's like this kind of throws a little bit of a, oh, there's something about Finn we don't really know about. There was a little bit of intrigue that came after that moment. So I think that was another reason why it was really fun for us to see.
Oh, well, that's great to hear. That makes my day. Thank you.
There's another scene that very tropey like where, you get to the place where Finn and Suzette finally kind of own what they've been feeling. And in the true trope fashion, it's like there's this interruption and Finn has to leave. And then you guys surprise us again, and Finn turns around and comes back and saves the day. And Finn and Suzette, I don't know if you remember that scene or not, but do you remember shooting that scene, and then the direction that you got? Because that was different. We're used to there's an interruption and a walk away, and not Finn who turns around and says, nope, we're going to finish this conversation off.
So sorry, what was the question again? Do I remember shooting that scene? I do remember the scene. I love that scene actually and how it turned out. You're talking about the scene where she's pulling up the chairs, right? It's the beginning of that scene where they're alone in the bar together.
Is
Or
it
you're
the
talking,
bar? All I
or
know is that they finally own that they're going to go out, like that there's something there. And
yes.
he gets interrupted and
Yeah.
he has to leave.
And then
And
I
then
come back for the kiss. Yeah.
you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been Lucy directing that episode. And she's so good at like, come on, give me a little something here. And then
Yeah.
like she's really good at building those scenes and building those
There was
moments.
no chair around for anybody to pull in. So this was
No.
the alternative, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That was a really cool scene though. And even the way I always go back to how they shot that scene, but there was a ton of movement. And like I remember there's a bit on the couch and then they're back up and then oh no, this thing came up and then he walks like I always love scenes that have that kind of physical play. It feels a bit more like theater in a sense than
Yeah.
than but yeah, that was a really cool scene.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we're thinking, oh no. And then it's like, oh, Finn's our hero. Way to come back, Finn. So it was good.
Thank you.
You've got a great visual when we see the lake scene, and
Yeah.
Liam comes out of the water and we see this look on Finn's face, and another fantastic scene. Do you remember shooting that one in? I think it was like super cold water and everything, right?
Very, very cold night. I remember that scene very well because I was really sick.
Oh gosh.
I was really sick that night and I had a really bad flu that week. And even watching Lachlan and Katie come in and out of the water, I was getting worsening flu symptoms by the second watching watching that happen. I felt so bad for them. Um, but that was to close out movie number two, I believe. That scene.
Yes.
Yeah, beautifully shot. That would have been Siobhan. Incredible, incredible scene. I love those night sequences with the water and
Mhm.
the lighting. I remember that scene very well. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I think that night too, Sammer, there's this sequence where we're kind of fighting on the ground in that.
Yes.
And I remember I kind of I threw a fake punch and I kind of like clipped the front of his teeth a little bit.
Yeah.
He was like, "Are my teeth still there?" I'm like, "Yeah." Oh my gosh, did I get you that bad? And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You got my teeth a little bit." He's like, "Are my teeth still there?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're there." And I just remember that it being like 3:34 in the morning, and we're like, "We got to get home. This is this is too late." And
You're like, we got to wrap this
everyone's
up.
going crazy. Like, yeah,
Somebody's going to get really hurt, and I have the flu. So,
yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. So there's been talk, and I mean, I don't know if it can be done or not. Everybody loved this trilogy so much that we've talked about there could be a spinoff for this. I mean, maybe, it's more along the lines of a mystery series. Could you see that happening?
I totally could. But I think it would almost have to center around Amitai's character.
Mm.
Yeah, I think in my brain that's the only way it would make sense because they're the only people in the afterlife.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you just did a continuation of the story from like when Liam and Cora start the what is it, the foundation at the end of
The
movie
second chances. Yeah,
Second Chances. I wonder you could start it from there, but it could be cool to introduce new characters through the Angels of Destiny.
that's true. Yeah.
You could do that too if you want a new cast, depending if you want a new cast.
Well, I just think, the story was great. We loved the time travel and that whole idea of bringing them into, present day. But the chemistry of the whole cast, I mean, the three of you, the secondary characters were cast with fantastic. And I realize, with some of it, you can't probably bring that part of it back. But man, to get you guys back together, I just think would be awesome.
Oh, well, I appreciate you saying that. I mean, I'd love to go back and do
Yeah,
that series. That would be, I mean, easily could have been a 10 episode
yeah,
TV
for
show.
sure. For sure.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, there's so many different things you can do with Providence Falls.
Oh, yeah.
It
Oh,
already
yeah.
sounds like a brand in and of itself. So very cool.
Putting it out there, Hallmark.
Yes, if you're listening.
So you had actually, and I can't remember if it was week 2 of Providence Falls or week 3, you also had that same weekend a Lifetime movie come out called If I Run, alongside Kat Graham. Loved that. And
Thank
that I
you.
know that is based on a book series as well. So you start as a private investigator. What can you tell us? Because I know that there's some people that haven't seen that movie and they can actually watch that now, even on the Lifetime app. So set the stage a little bit for us. What is If I Run about?
Yeah, so that was an interesting story to me. Um, Kat Graham plays, oh, what is her character's name? God, I love that I'm just totally forgetting her character's name. Casey. Casey is her character's
That's
name.
it.
She
Usually
is,
I have it written down.
yes, no, it's okay. She's accused of murder at the beginning of the movie. And I'm kind of brought on as this private investigator to hunt her down to try to earn my stripes for this new lead detective that I'm working for. And kind of as this story progresses, I start to maybe think that Casey isn't really in the wrong, and maybe this guy's manipulating me into doing something for his own personal needs. So there's kind of like this internal conflict where my character's A trying to become a better investigator in the workforce and earn his way up the ranks, and then his morality on the other side is being challenged, where he really believes this girl is innocent. So it's a really interesting story and almost plays. I'd almost call it like a road trip movie in a weird way, like an investigative road trip movie where I'm just on the run. She's on the run and I'm chasing her down the entire movie. So if you like thrillers, you might like that movie.
I loved it. And I don't, I mean, I will pick up a good thriller now and then, but it's not typically the genre that I go to.
Hmm.
But just their dynamic and knowing that he picked up on that maybe she actually really is innocent. You played Dylan. He's such a layered character. What was your favorite part of playing Dylan?
I mean, I hadn't played for a long time a character with that kind of internal darkness, and like in a long time, maybe not ever. And I found out I was getting that movie 4 days before we went to Victoria. It was a super last minute thing that came through. So I didn't have the normal amount of time to prep and train it to death. I could just had to kind of had to like go into my own internal world and find my own darkness and my own pain, without sounding too actory. But kind of had to do that and yeah, I was held up in that hotel room alone for a good month and just kind of went to tried to go to some weird dark places in my brain. I mean, it was a pretty he's a character that's quite damaged, like he's seen his best buddies get killed in war, and he's still a young man, but he's trying to earn his way through the ranks and actually become someone in society, but he has like this whole well of pain in his life. So
Mhm.
it was a challenge, and yeah, it was like I said, I'd never played a character like that before, so it was very appealing to me.
It was really fun for us to, we know that that story is focused in on Casey's story and, her innocence, but there was equally just this, like, we know that there's these unanswered and these things that Dylan is having to deal with.
Yeah.
What would you say was the most, like, either rewarding or challenging part of it, other than 4 days prep, for you?
What was the most challenging part of it?
Or rewarding, either one. I'll let you pick.
They usually go hand in hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Usually. Um, I honestly, I would just say it sounds cliche, but I would say it's the experience as a whole. It's the weird actory stuff of being in the hotel room alone, trying to get to these weird places, and then coming to set and trying to execute these things that you have in your head, and trying to be vulnerable and trying to do a good job to serve the story, but like challenging yourself to access those darker parts of yourself.
Hmm.
And and on the other side of that, there is a reward
Yeah.
because you feel that you've given like a small piece of yourself to the project. That's true. It's like an actual piece of yourself. And I'd say that's the reward. If you want to even call it a reward, that sounds like I'm chasing a reward now, but it's challenge, and you do get some sort of satisfaction from that in the end.
Absolutely. I mean, you want to know that the work that you've put into it, that at the end of it, you feel really good about what
For
you
sure,
have.
for
So
sure. Yeah.
this movie is based on a trilogy. Have you heard anything else about the other two?
Still waiting by the phone.
I got a lot of writing I got to do, Evan. Now I'm writing Lifetime.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll let you send off the first email to see if I don't know. The last I heard is they were hoping to do the second and third movie in 2026. And that was the last I heard of it. So I've held off on reading books two and three
Okay.
until that happens because I don't want to get my hopes up and then and then be like, oh shoot, I read those books. I got
You're like,
excited.
I'm going to read them 4 days out because that 4 day prep worked really well.
That's
I'm going
the
to try
winning
that again.
formula, Stephanie. Yes. So we'll see. Hopefully I have some news to report to you about that in the next 2 months.
We'll be looking for it.
Trust.
You've made a comment in the past that you're one of those that don't necessarily like to go back and watch yourself on projects. True?
Very true. Very true. And it
Have,
kind of sounds like I'm feigning humility or something in that because it's like you think, oh, an actor really wants to watch their work back, but they're two different skills. You kind of have to watch it back in the beginning to know that sort of what you're doing in your brain is translating to camera. But after a while, then it just becomes like the cathartic release that you get from acting. And
yeah.
yeah, I cringe. I just have a hard time with it. It's just not. I'm just not meant to watch it back. I've just come to that conclusion. So
So, have you ever broken the rule?
yeah, yeah. This is like a new rule, by the way. I
Okay.
discovered this is in the last couple of years that I'm like I can't do this anymore. So I've seen clips of I've seen all of those last movies that you and I just spoke about,
Okay.
and that was only to do press, literally only to do press.
Just so you know what you can
I'm
talk
like,
that
"Hey, there's
you know
that.
what made the
I'm gonna go
final
make
cut.
I'm gonna go make a coffee. Okay, there's that next scene. Okay, I'm gonna go make a coffee. So yeah, it's just a challenge for me, and I know for other actors too, it can be hard, but maybe it's one of those things with age too that you stop judging yourself so harshly. It's
Yeah.
probably one of those things too, and
Yeah.
I'm just not there yet.
Yeah. I get it totally. So, I always like to ask this question, especially if there's a few days out before, your next project comes out. We've got a few days. Is there a project that you're really proud of that you would say, this is the first one that comes to mind? Everybody go back and watch it.
Wow.
And
I
it
love,
doesn't have to be a Hallmark movie or a
okay.
Lifetime movie. It can be anything.
That kind of stumps me, honestly. I'm proud in a sense of all of them. I think there was one Christmas movie I did a few years ago called Sealed with a List that I really enjoyed. I really
Yes.
had fun shooting that movie, and Katie Finley, they're very talented.
It was a, I watched it. It was great. It was good.
Oh, thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. I don't know why. Sometimes there's certain characters that have like, again, to talk about like your inner world, and for some reason that character just rang so true to me, and
Yeah.
I think that's partially why that movie's so special to me.
Yeah. That one
Yeah,
was a lot of fun.
yeah,
So,
thank you.
yeah, it was good. All right. So, do you have anything coming up that you can share about? Anything that we need to be looking for?
Gosh, I wish I knew what I was allowed to tell you across the board.
You can say, yes, there is, or no, there isn't.
Okay. I do have a movie coming out, I believe in February. It's a Valentine's Day movie. I don't know the exact date yet, but we
Okay.
just finished shooting it in over in Hamilton, Ontario. So we were there for a good month shooting that. I'm really excited to talk about that one. Talk about another comedy, but that's very much in a similar camp to the character that I play in A Make or Break Holiday. So this
Another
is almost a
comedy.
teaser to the type of character that I play in February.
Okay. You'll have to
Yeah,
come back. That'll
I
be fun to
will,
talk about.
100%.
Okay. So, I don't know if people know this about you, but you have a big music background as well. You're a songwriter, guitarist, anything else?
I mean, I can play a few chords on the piano, but that's about it. That's about it.
You got your basic chords.
Yeah.
So, can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, like, I'm curious, you've got the acting and all of that. Like, how do you divide up all of that creative process? What does that look like for you?
It's not that hard to divide. I just take my guitar on the road with me. Anytime I check into a hotel, I have my guitar there with me, and I honestly end up usually I've been writing songs as a hobby since I was 18 or 19,
Cool.
like about as long as I've been acting as just a kind of a pastime, and I just it's like my meditative thing that I like to do, and a guitar just keeps you company when you're on the road anywhere you are, and kind of keeps your creative juices flowing in a sense. So I've done that, yeah, pretty much for as long as I've acted. But yeah, just take the guitar with me to the hotels, and yeah, that's kind of the whole story. It's a lot of
That's
fun.
awesome.
Good for me. Yeah, good for the soul.
You got anything coming out or yeah?
I I think I'm probably gonna put out some more songs in 2026. I don't know which ones yet. I have a good handful recorded, and I'll just kind of trickle them out as they speak to me and want to be
Mhm.
released. So yeah, we'll see. More in 2026 for sure.
Okay. And I have a Spotify account, so I have found your music on Spotify. Can we find
Yep.
it on most of the
Yep.
music platforms?
Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. I think it should be on all those streaming services. Yeah.
So we've talked about, Providence Falls, that type of a movie. We've talked about your thriller. We've talked about the comedy and the one that's coming out and the one that's coming later on. So across all of those different genres, is there a genre that maybe you're itching to do more of, or maybe the one that you haven't done yet?
Oh. Hmm. I will say I've really been enjoying comedies recently. It's like it's so fun when you get on set with an ensemble and people are cracking jokes and people are trying new lines that aren't in the script. It's like it's a really fun place to exist.
Yeah.
So I'd say I wouldn't mind delving deeper into the world of comedy. That would be a lot of fun. But having said that, it's really nice to go and shoot a thriller movie too.
A
So
little balance, maybe.
a little balancing act, Stephanie. Yeah. So it's I'm happy with how things are going now in the sense that I am lucky enough to do a comedy and a thriller in one year
Yeah.
and a sweeping drama in Providence Falls as well. It's been nice. If I can try to continue with this balancing act of how things are going genre-wise, I'd be really content.
Do you think with a comedy, when say that you've really kind of liked that comedy lately, is that connected at all to like the improv? I feel like maybe there's more improvisation that comes with those comedies.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think most of my lines that I ad lib don't make the movie, as Hunter King would probably agree. But yeah, it's fun. It's like and then there's certain actors they always bring in who are going to be really good improvisers, and they always do a really good job. But that's always part of it. That's always part of the fun. It's like, oh, what did this person just think of? Let's try that in the script, and does it make sense in the story? And so yeah. it's all part of the fun.
So we've talked a little bit about the acting and the music. So tell us, where can everybody follow you to stay up to date on all the things happening in your world?
I'm pretty much just solely on Instagram. Um, I think I used to have a Facebook. Well, I did used to have a Facebook, but I think I had it up until God, 2012 or something like 2013. So it's just Instagram right now, unfortunately. Maybe one day I'll join X or one of the other apps, but just Instagram, Evan Roderick for now.
I started actually even thinking like there's so many crazy accounts over on Facebook that I feel like I should start asking from now on, like, are you a Facebook or not a Facebook? Because there's so many people out there. And I know Hallmark's really been pitching a lot, like, because they're so concerned about the scammers and all of that. So I'm like, it's
Right.
important for people to know where you really are.
True, true. Well, if you see, yeah, if you see an Evan Roderick page, not that you would on Facebook, if you do, it's not me.
Find Evan on Instagram, everybody.
Cool. Yeah.
So you can find Evan also on December 20th. His movie, A Make or Break Holiday with Evan and Hunter King, is going to be airing 8/7 Central on Hallmark Channel. You can actually watch it again the next day on Hallmark Plus. So excited to see the comedy that you guys bring, and this game that I am so not familiar with and what this looks like. So maybe it'll become a new holiday game tradition. Is that the type of game it is or not?
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Okay.
In fact, I think I'm going to include it in this year's schedule for my
There
family.
you go. There you go. Well, Evan, I'm so glad to talk to you, and I hope you have a blast at Hallmark Christmas Experience. I know that so many people that have went have said yes, I would love to go back. So I'm sure it's going to be a blast for you. So thanks so
Thank,
much for being here.
thank you for having me. That was a great conversation. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye bye.
Yeah.